Hi, welcome to another episode of Just Saying With. Today we're going to be just saying with Jasmine Sokko, Singaporean singer, songwriter, and producer. She just so happens to be also the first Singaporean to win the Best Southeast Asian Act at the 2019 MTV Europe Music Awards. Jasmine has a TikTok campaign that's going on now called blessthismess that has already garnered 2.8 million views. So, here's Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. Welcome to an episode of Just Saying With. So, Jasmine, how are you? How have the last couple of weeks been treating you?
I'm good actually, like even better today because it's the start of phase two. But initially, when we went into this circuit breaker, I thought like, oh, this is no big deal because I'm such an introvert, right? Staying in is my thing. But then halfway in between, I'm like, oh no, that means I would need to do everything from home. And this living space is now my workspace. And that like took me a while to adapt. But eventually I got used to it. And now we are like shifting back to normal. So I think I'll miss this a bit. Yeah.
So, are you looking forward to, are you looking forward to normal life then?
I am looking forward to certain things like performing again. I think that one will take a while. I'm also looking forward to like just going out of my place. But then like I will miss the amount of time I spend at home like this. Like I never appreciated so many things before, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very strange how, it's given us, I think, given a lot of people a fresh perspective on, what we can do with our time as well. Speaking of what we do with our time, you obviously have been extremely productive with your time even before this whole circuit breaker thing started, right? So, I want to find out, how did you start your music career? When did it begin?
So growing up, I never actually like wanted to be a musician just because like it's Singapore and our society has this expectation where like you need to go out, go through like the, like how do you put it? Like a series of already planned out road for you and then get a corporate job and then live a happy and stable life. But I've always really loved music. So I started out by making my own songs and then just releasing them while I was still attending school. And at a lot of times, I actually didn't think that it would be my career, like a full-time thing. So that was kind of how it started. And then like doing everything myself and eventually like making music took way more time than like going to school or like my normal life, right? And eventually it became the thing that I do right now, which I feel so grateful about. Yeah.
So, I totally understand where you're coming from. When I was younger, which was a while ago, but, I dabbled in music as well. But I never quite managed to get it going. It was probably because I don't really have a talent. But but with you, how did you know that, what, this is it? This is what I'm destined for, and music, that's the thing for me.
Okay. I think in the start, I always had doubts. I always have doubt of like, okay, like if this doesn't work out, I will have plan B and then I have something to fall back onto. But then eventually, every time my mind stray off to think about plan B, like I cannot actually imagine myself living that life by giving up like what I'm doing right now. And then just an accumulation of that and also like every tiny like milestones I take, like from creating a new song or like performing at an event that I never knew could happen, they give me a sense of fulfillment that I have never felt from doing other things. And then I knew like, oh yeah, this is tough, but like it gives me something I cannot find elsewhere. So I need to protect it. I need to work really hard, and I feel fulfilled. Yeah.
Do you remember your first gig? When was the first time you performed, and then that feeling of performing?
Okay, not as glamorous and as cool. Actually, the first time I performed, I was doing electronic music for the first time, right, in a live setting. So I didn't know how to perform it live from my laptop. I forgot to bring my laptop charger, so I cried, and that was my like first performance ever. So it was a lot of crying and learning, but eventually I'm always happy like at how things like snowball, and then I learn new things every time, including the kind of live shows I'm doing right now from home during circuit breaker. Yeah.
Right. So, you've already said a little bit about growing up in Singapore and how you didn't quite take things the traditional route. What would you say was some of the challenges you faced when you first started?
I would say there were a lot of challenges, such as not having like a very planned out syllabus. You know, if you want to get like a corporate job, right, you would know, okay, you need this degree, you need a certain grade, and then you would have like chance of making it that kind. But then in terms of doing your own thing, it's always about finding everything, all the knowledge you can accumulate, and then figure your own path. And what's tricky about this career path is that whatever that used to work before highly likely will not work again. So you would always have to like innovate, think on your feet, and move. But I also find that super exciting. So I would say the biggest challenge is to get used to adapting, because growing up, it's always about like following, getting like spoon-fed content in school, right? And then studying it and going for exams. But this one is like nobody gives you anything. So you have to like go out there, go to places you've never been before, meet people. And that was new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And just as you mentioned, how you have to innovate and evolve, and that basically goes into my next question. How would you define your music? What makes your music yours?
Trust me when I say I struggle with this question every time. When I first started, I find myself like boxing myself, categorizing myself into like electronic, those very scientific terms. But then eventually I realized that the things I make are just what I like and they are my taste, and it's so hard to like condense it down to like just a few words. So to this day, I have no idea like how I would specifically define it, but like keeping it short, I would tell people like I make sad songs for people to dance to.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So, would you say that there was anybody that inspired you, that you looked up to when you first started, and said that I kind of want to be like that, or someone that gave you inspiration?
I look up to female artists, especially producers, because when I first started out, I had this like, I had this impression that a lot of people doing the production and the back end work are males, and females are usually the singer, and then guys are the producers. So like I really looked up to people like Grimes and Lady Gaga, like those people that dive into every detail of their craft, not just the music, but also like music videos, the way they dress, everything, performances. Yeah.
So, it's quite amazing what you've accomplished, because, like you said, going from a young woman that's forgot her laptop charger to being the first Singaporean to win the Best Southeast Asian Act at the 2019 MTV Europe Music Awards. I can't even fathom how, that would feel like. What was it like for you?
Okay, I think the young me would be really proud. And then every time like these things happen, I feel very surreal and super grateful. And then, mm, but actually, in words, like in the way I create music, in the way I view things, they haven't changed that much, Like I'm still the same, and like I still have that love for music. Sometimes it dies out because it's hard to like keep going on and on without burning out as well. And I would think back to the past, like, oh, the girl that started out without knowing that she would be here today really just started out because she loved it. And I wanted to keep, like stay grounded. Do not let those things affect the way I want to keep improving and growing. Yeah.
And you are influential. You are an influencer, and I'm pretty sure that there are young artists out there today that look at you and go, "Hey, that's who I want to be," and they look up to you. And now you're using your influence, and you're tapping onto TikTok with this blessthismess challenge, and it's already garnered 2.8 million views. But what's the idea behind this challenge?
Okay, so Bless This Mess was a song that I created by sourcing like ideas from a pool of people online. And like people were sending me messages, like motivational messages. And then I figured that all my songs, they sound happy, but they're actually negative. It's usually like me being angry and then putting it in a song. And like Bless This Mess was when I put together all the motivational quotes or like messages from people telling me how they cope with failures, and then I made it into a song. So it was a really like, how do I say, like a community effort that was very positive, and I felt like I really needed that during this period of time when this year went so unexpected. So it was really, really cool when we could do like a Bless This Mess challenge on TikTok and get everyone to dance to the song and then share like what's their biggest fear and then like how like the attitude they have towards it. And yeah, it's just really nice. You feel like this song has like a community of people who are being positive with you.
That's amazing, and and you also have a new single, Mess, right? Yeah. So your new single, what's the idea behind that, and what's the message that you're looking to drive with Mess?
The main message for me when I was writing the lyrics and compiling all the quotes is realizing that failures are just failures. Like last time when people ask me like what are failures, I would tell them like, oh, okay, it's a stepping stone to success or like a necessary like lesson learned. But then sometimes things happen and you have nothing to learn from it, And the best way to cope with it is just to like accept that it is a failure, acknowledge it, and then go like, so what? And then move on.
Great. And okay, last question. What can fans expect from you in the future?
Okay, I have been staying in, making a lot of music, and then, just planning for the day when things resume again. So fans can definitely expect a lot more music from me in both like Mandarin and English songs. And also, I just am dying to like perform live again, I want to have that kind of interaction with people, have them bounce off their energy back to me.
Jasmine, thank you very much for joining us today. And for everyone out there, get behind Jasmine's challenge, Bless This Mess on TikTok. Follow her music and check out her latest single, Mess. Justin, where can we get Mess from?
It's available on all digital music platforms.
Right. Thank you very much. And, Jasmine, once again, thank you for joining us. Be safe, be well, take care. And you know what? Can't wait to hear what you come up with next.